Welcome to Space Matrix. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more updates. It all started, as so many modern-day apocalypses do, with a tweet. At 3:17 in the morning, President Trump announced his grand plan, massive tariffs. The idea? Tax foreign goods so heavily that American companies would have no choice but to buy American. It was economic patriotism by brute force, a sledgehammer to global trade. The president promised a manufacturing renaissance, factories roaring back to life, jobs flooding in. But he overlooked one thing. American companies are deeply tangled in global supply chains. This wasn't a minor tweak, it was a declaration of economic war, with American businesses caught in the crossfire. The administration celebrated, convinced they'd scored a win for the American worker. But as they admired the splash, they missed the tsunami heading their way. That tsunami? It looked, tasted, and fizzed, just like a can of Coca-Cola. The world watched, breath held, as the first lesson in unintended consequences was about to be delivered. The president's silver bullet was about to ricochet, and the first company to call his bluff, a 130-year-old American icon, the stage was set for chaos. The news broke with a cold, devastating press release. Coca-Cola, as American as baseball, announced it was moving production out of the U.S. because of the new tariffs. The very policy meant to keep companies home was driving them away. Tariffs on aluminum and sugar made U.S. production impossible without massive price hikes. Rather than raise prices or eat the costs, Coke chose to leave. The shock was national. Coke wasn't just a company, it was part of American identity. The move was a direct rebuke to the president's economic platform. The foundation of the tariff plan, forcing companies to stay, crumbled instantly. Coca-Cola's CEO put it bluntly, "We must make decisions that ensure our business survives." The message? You can have your tariffs or you can have Coca-Cola, not both. A soft drink had become the symbol of a nation's economic anxiety. President Trump's reaction? Not subtle. "Coca-Cola is a disgrace," he tweeted, calling for a boycott and blaming everyone but himself. At a press conference, he accused Coke of betrayal and the CEO of being a globalist. He ignored the fact that his own products were made overseas. Facts didn't matter. This was about loyalty. He threatened new taxes and investigations, determined to punish the company. His speeches grew more unhinged, painting Coke as the villain in a vast conspiracy. But the chaos he unleashed was of his own making. He wanted to look strong, but instead looked like a child stung by his own beehive. The spectacle was a masterclass in backfiring policy. The American public's reaction was a messy mix of anger, confusion, and heartbreak. For many, Coke was more than a drink. It was a memory, a piece of home. In Atlanta, Coke's hometown, the mood was funereal. Generations of workers faced unemployment. Across the country, battle lines formed. Trump supporters called for boycotts, pouring Coke down the drain and pledging allegiance to Pepsi. Others blamed the White House, seeing job losses as the result of reckless policy. The #ThankSTrump trended, filled with sarcasm and worry. The country felt more divided than ever. Fans mourned the loss, supermarket shelves emptied, and rumors flew. Would Mexican Coke taste the same? Buying a Coke became a political act. The fizz had gone out of the American dream. A simple consumer choice was now a culture war. The loss of Coke was personal, and the pain was real. America was left thirsty for answers. While the public dumped soda, economists had a field day. On every news channel, experts agreed, this was a self-inflicted wound. Global supply chains are complex. You can't just pull one thread without unraveling the whole. Coke sourced ingredients worldwide to keep costs low. Tariffs blew up that model. The immediate impact: job losses, not just at Coke but in trucking, logistics, and local businesses. Next came price hikes, as less competition meant higher prices for everyone. Imported Coke would now be a luxury item thanks to the very tariffs that drove it away. News abroad mocked America for driving out its own companies. The world saw a superpower turning protectionist and unstable. Economists warned this sent a terrible message to every multinational. America was no longer predictable. Uncertainty is poison for investment. Coca-Cola wasn't the cause, it was a symptom of a deeper economic illness. The damage was spreading. Coca-Cola's exit sent shockwaves through corporate America. If Coke could leave, anyone could. Boardrooms buzzed with contingency plans. The tariffs, meant to keep companies in, became a giant exit sign. The auto industry panicked. Tariffs on steel and parts threatened to add thousands to car prices. Rumors swirled. Major automakers were eyeing the exits. The tech industry too was on high alert. Apple and others wondered if the US was still a safe place to do business. The risk of sudden crippling policies was too high. Every day brought new announcements, new retaliatory tariffs, and wild market swings. The president's reassurances only fueled more uncertainty. The dominoes were lined up, and everyone waited for the next to fall. The economy teetered on the edge. As the dust settled, America was left with a single terrifying question: who's next? Empty Coke factories stood as monuments to a policy gone wrong. The sense that this was just the beginning was impossible to shake. The mood was dark. Economic security felt like a glass bottle about to shatter. People eyed their favorite brands with dread. Would they be the next to leave? The president's promise to make America great again now rang hollow. The trust between government and business was broken. America waited for the next press release, the next tweet, the next loss. The Coca-Cola saga wasn't just about tariffs. It was about a nation at a crossroads, staring into an uncertain future. And the world watched, wondering if the great American experiment was fizzling out.